myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters. And we ain't got nothing to hide, we move forward like soldiers. You better wake up for the pay stub, or you'll pay up. Don't make love to the game, bruh, fuck the game up. Change up, rearrange stuff to your greatness. Same us for the way up, play the game, bruh.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top, yeah.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to YouTube Daze. I'm Betty, your host. So today I'm going to be working on Diddy's case. I'm going to go step by step as they talk about it, because nobody's allowed to be in the courtroom. But I'm going to be telling what's going on. Mind Same World, I gotcha. Okay, so first of all, if you haven't heard, there is... they sent a thing to the honorable judge, and they said the government respectfully submits this letter in advance of hearing scheduled for November 22nd, 2024, in connection with the defendant's renewed motion for bail and in response to the court's inquiry about the relevance of the bail package order with the government's consent, as the defendant Michael Jeffries in the United States Jeffries versus EDNY. For the reasons stated below, the circumstances in Jeffries are inapposite and provide no support for the defendant's bail application in the instant matter. Okay, so he's trying to get out on bail because what they did was they fucked up and they gave Jeffries bail. Okay, they should have never gave Jeffries bail. The guy with Abercrombie. On October 17, 2024, a grand jury sitting in the Eastern District of New York returned an indictment charged 3 defendants, including Michael Jeffries, with 1 count of trafficking in violation and 15 counts of interstate prostitution in violation. As alleged, from approximately 2008 to 2015, Jeffries and his co-defendants operated an international trafficking prostitution business. Jeffries' allegedly co-defendants operated, paid dozens of men to travel within the United States and internationally to meet Jeffries and his co-defendants to engage in commercial sex acts. In addition, Jeffries and his co-defendants relied on security company to surveil and intimidate witnesses who threatened to expose their misconduct. Following his arrest, the government consented Jeffries' release on strict bail conditions, including a secured $10 million bond and a home detention with electronic monitoring. Okay, this is the bad thing. If this hadn't came out October the 17th about Jeffries, and he was able to get out on bond for what they're calling the same thing, we wouldn't be in this mess right now. Diddy wouldn't even have a third chance for bail. It says, first, the nature of circumstances of the offenses are subsequently different. While the Jeffries case, which spans from 2008 to 2015, alleges the use of force, fraud, and coercion, engagement in non-consensual acts, there are no allegations that Jeffries committed non-trafficking related violent acts or that he used firearms during the charged period. The indictment against Combs alleges both. With respect to the charged offenses, Jeffries does not include a racketeering offense. By contrast, Combs is charged with leading a racketeering enterprise that engaged in sex trafficking. All right. Now, we are waiting for Mr. Combs to come in. We don't know if he's shackled or not. He probably asked to be not shackled again because, you know, he thinks that hands not being shackled, but legs being shackled is okay, I guess. I don't know. So we're waiting. In the courtroom, Combs' attorney, Tony Rico, has come back into gallery to speak with Diddy supporters. Alexandra Shapiro setting reading from a binder. 4 prosecutors in the front row. Drum roll. Sean Combs is brought in wearing MDC gel tan uniform. He makes a point of hugging his lawyer, Agnifilio, then sits chatting with Rico. So that's where we're at so far. He just walked in the courtroom. Diddler has made it to the building and is sitting there hugging and talking with his attorneys. Now, I wish, honestly, that they would have never have done this, to be honest with you, with Jeffries, because now this is the way Diddler thinks, you know, this is his way. He's going to get out. He's already intimidating witnesses by what the government is saying. And then they're saying that the second witness is not even, they're saying that the second witness is not the second witness is not even having a problem. Like, he didn't do nothing to her, but yet he paid her lots of money. And then in September, she comes back and she changes everything and makes a statement. And then she takes it down off of Instagram. And he's called her like 128 times. So then it says, the thing said last night that whenever this was going on and stuff, it was crazy. They were telling him, he's afraid of looking like a criminal. I know, right? They were trying to say that, you know, that girl was his friend, and that if you let him out on bail, then he won't be contacting none of the people anymore. He won't be doing stuff like that if you let him out on bail. You know, I know. But I do have to say, though, that he wrote legal on that pad after the fact. That wasn't in the pictures. I will tell you that. That was not in the pictures. Nope. When they took pictures of that, it did not say legal on it. He wrote that after the fact. So after they'd gotten it back, and he wrote, oh, shit, I better write legal on this. You know, and they're, I can't say they're on top of their game, because the second time they went to court for motion, they didn't even do motion for bail. They forgot to even do motion for bail. So he had to sit in there, and they didn't even do motion for bail because of it. So he's sitting there all smiles today, of course, in his tan uniform, you know, and then think about this. He thinks that he runs the jail right now because they moved him to a different place in the jail. I don't know if all of you knew this or not, but they moved him to more of a place in the jail, of more of a freak off place, so that he could do what he wanted to do, and they could catch him doing it. But he thinks he's controlling everything. He thinks he's just controlling everybody in the jail, when actually they're all in there for federal charges, and they all want to get out. So the best thing for them to do is what? Oh, yeah, let's do whatever Diddy wants us to. Then let's go snitch on him. Because number one, as he's learning, ain't nobody his friend here, you know. And ain't nobody his friend in there. So you see what I'm saying? So yeah, we gotta, you know, it's like, and I would show you me, but my hair's all over the place, and I'm like, I can't, you know. No, we're in the process of finding out right now. I just woke up. I put some stuff in my hair. My hair floozied out, and I'm like, I'm not showing all of you me today. Forget it. I am not showing you me today. No, we are in the courtroom right now. getting things ready. You know, his attorneys are getting ready. I am assuming the judge is getting ready. We are on standstill until they get ready. However, now the government could roll out. They could start rolling out those tapes and things of what he done to the kids. If he wants to get real critical, you know, because we got interceded indictments coming, but if they want to get real down and dirty, they can, because there's a lot of stuff they've held back waiting for court. Yeah, they were waiting for actual real court, not this bail hearing stuff. But if they want to get down and real dirty, you know, and it, like they say, there's a 99% chance. Okay, all rise. Combs lawyer Rico, the family of Mr. Sean Love Combs are here. They traveled a long way. Judge says, thank you for being here, Mr. Agnifilio. Tell me about the legal pads. Combs lawyers, Agnifilio, the first time I saw them was Tuesday. Okay. Now, while we wait for a judge, noting that Combs are his lawyers are sitting at the middle of 3 tables. So the 2 U.S. marshals, rather than directly behind the defendant, as is usually the case, are on the sides of the defendant. Ooh. Oh. So normally they're behind, but they're at the side of him, on each side. All right, so the judge is given a chance for Agnifilio to talk. So the first thing he says is, the first time I saw them was Tuesday. So they want to know about those legal pads straight off the bat, which that's what he said. You better have a reasoning for why it said legal on there. And it didn't in the pictures. All right, so we're just waiting because it takes a little bit for them to write and everything. I never saw that. I wish I could see this. Okay. Combs lawyer, Agnifilio, as we sit here today, I'm not sure when legal was written on each of them. I'm trying to get to the bottom of it. Different members of the defense team was telling him to write legal on the pads. There is a photo of a pad without legal on it. Oh, you're already caught right off the bat. Shit. Oh, right off the bat. Oh, right off the bat. Oh, shit. Oh, so he had to admit that there was pads that didn't say it on there. And yeah, so right off the bat, the judge wants to know. And Agnifilio says, I'm trying to get to the bottom of it. Different members of the defense team was telling him to write legal on the pads. Ooh, I knew this was coming right off the bat. I knew it was coming because he said he was going to talk about it on Friday. Oh, honey. Right off the bat, it's getting juicy. Okay. So it's clear that on November 1st, the sweep, they did not all say legal. The judge, the pad you handed up to me, did it say legal on it on November 1st? Agnifilio, I'm not sure. Judge, moving forward, make sure representations are true. So right off the bat, they're like, you already lied to me. Right off the bat. Make sure they're true. Oh. Oh my goodness, it's not going Combs' way right this moment. Because judge wants moving forward, make sure representations are true. Oof. Child. Because he had to sit there and say that it's not all true, that they didn't have legal written on them when they had the sweep, because the people that did the sweep was the actual jail, and they took the pictures and it did not have legal on it. I wonder if they're going to let that 20-minute video go through too. They're also trying to say that Cassie's video was doctored. So, So we're just kind of waiting for someone to type as this goes through, because all right, so the judge says, Miss Slavic, what's the status of Mr. Combs' laptop? Kristen Slavic says, the laptop for him to review the discovery at the MDC. The idea is to preload the information he is allowed to have at the MDC on the laptop. There's a protective order. Wait, he has a laptop even? But supposedly he can only see what is preloaded. The information he is allowed to have at the MDC on the laptop. There's a protective order. I don't know. So before, when the judge was like, the pad you handed up to me, did it say legal on it on November 1st? Agnifilio. I'm not sure. Moving forward, make sure your representations are true. Now they're asking about a laptop. And it's saying that it has preloaded information he's allowed to have at the MDC on the laptop. And there's a protective order. Child, I don't know what that is. Yeah, he didn't play that game. Yeah, nah, he said, I'm not going to play that game. I'm already getting caught up. You know, we didn't know that Diddy was in here running amok. I'm already getting caught up. So yeah, he didn't play that one off. He was like, nah, I'm not going to play that one off. So I'm curious about this laptop too, though. I know they're allowed to have like them little iPads, and you know, some jails are. Not every jail. They started that during the C virus to make things easier, because they couldn't see their lawyers and stuff like that. But I don't know. I don't know what that is. There's a protective order. You mean, is they talking about there's a protective order that he can't use any kind of laptops or anything? But they give him one. So now we're just waiting for them to write again, because, you know, no cameras are allowed in here, so everything has to be written down. Which actually sucks, but at least we get to know some information. You know, at least we're privy to some information. by the press even doing this, you know. So that was a warning when he said, moving forward, make sure representations are true, because they're trying to incite and say that CNN, the video that CNN had is, you know, been doctored and all that, that they got the edited version, and they didn't get the actual version of it. So that's why he's saying, moving forward, make sure representations are true. Okay, judge says, on bail application, I don't have to deal with the Bustani case. The defense is saying there are extensive conditions proposed, including 24/7 security. What about the Fox case? Question mark. And then the attorney says there was no RICO charge in that case. And then judge says, agreed. So they jump from the laptop to how the difference is there was no RICO charge. But I don't know what the Bustani case is, what they're talking about, Bustani case, because that's not the Jeffries case. What are they talking about? What are they talking about? The Fox case. There was no RICO charge in that case. Judge said agreed. Because there is a RICO charge in Diddy's case. So, yeah. The judge is just jumping right into it. Yeah. No, they just now jumped right into it, honey. They just jumped right into it, Tara. Yeah, but he's been using other prisoners' phone calls and intimidating witnesses and whatever he's been doing. Okay, but the judge says, but I want you to address the proposed conditions. And then the attorney comes back. There has to be some level of trust that the defendant will follow him. Here, he will not. He cannot be trusted. Consider his conduct in custody after the two judges' findings. So that's got to be the state that's saying that he can't be trusted. That's got to be the prosecution. There has to be some level of trust that the defendant will follow him. Here, he will not. He cannot be trusted. Consider his conduct in custody after the two judges' findings. So we're talking about the other two judges who said no to that he was a danger to society and a danger to other people and stuff like that. And they're saying that there has to be a level of trust, and they just don't have any trust in him at all because he's lied and all that jazz, Wow. Wow. At least they're not wasting time. They're just jumping right in. Okay, if he can, okay, they come back in, the prosecution comes back in and says if he cannot comply in a custodial setting, he will not comply if released. What type of security firm? They suggested a co-conspirator, one whose phone was taken only the day before. The second suggestion was a defense investigator in this case. So the two people he said that he would have to be his security are both one's a co-conspirator in this case, and his phone was taken the day before, and the second suggestion was a defense investigator in the case. So they can't have either one. So that's the security they're talking about. Then it says his attorneys are enabling his flouting of the BOP's rules. Consider the labeling of the pads after the fact. Even family members. The judge, what's your response if Mr. Combs says, even if they don't trust me, there'd be 24/7 security? And that's when he came and said, if they can't comply, if he can't comply in custodial settings, he won't comply if he was released, which is true. How are they supposed to? Look what he does. He running amok up in the jail. You know, what do you think he's going to do once he gets out? He's going to run amok. But it's going to be worse because they can't do nothing to him. Okay, now the prosecutor comes back and says the investigator has been out contacting witnesses. Essentially, they work for him. This would be the defendant buying his way out. The judge said, you conceded that Bastoni's bar does not apply here. You've cited his wealth to release him. So can't he use it? No, he can't use it. So the people essentially that would be watching over him also is contacting witnesses, and they work for him. So they're saying that wouldn't be a good thing for him to be able to use that. But then the judge is like, so he can't use it? Because the judge says you conceded that Bastoni's bar does not apply here. You've cited his wealth to release him. So can't he use it? I don't know. I think that if he gets out, there's going to be some bodies. That's what I think. Because if you can make it go away, if you can make everything go away, you ain't going nowhere. And that's why they were keeping him, because he's a danger. Okay, so the prosecution comes back. We're not seeking his continued detention based on his wealth, but rather danger, risk of flight, and obstruction. Judge says, is obstruction your main argument? And he comes back and says, danger to others. Judge said, so not risk of flight? And prosecution says, we still rely on that too. So they're relying on him being a danger to others, risk of flight. But obstruction is not their main argument. It's mainly danger to others and relying on risk of flight, which he had enough money he could go anywhere in the world. Just like Russell Simmons, he could be with Russell Simmons tomorrow. Russell Simmons can never come back to the United States because of this. He's wanted on 13 counts or something like that, but he ran off to another country. Whew. I don't know. You know, they got so much that they could put out there. They're just not. They must be holding it for court. So the judge says, tell me about obstruction. And the prosecution says he's continuing violation of rules. The judge says, if running a PR campaign, obstruction. And the prosecutor says, that's not what we have here. Rather, it's a concerted effort to impact the integrity of these proceedings. This is like a non-nonsense judge. Right to the point, straight to the point, no BS, straight to the point. Wanting to know what's going on, what have you, you know, blah, 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 blah. Oh, yeah, Russell Simmons, he ran for his life. He's got 13 counts of child. He ran for his life. And they're really good friends, so they could just have, you know, P. Diddy fly right on over. Any billionaire could throw him on a plane and be gone. Gone, 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 gone. Never to be seen again. Whether passport or not, they'd have fake IDs and everything. That's what people don't understand. When you're a billionaire with a B, a billionaire with a B, that's when you got a problem. Because whether people are acting like they're his friend or not right now, there's people out there like the Russell Simmons and stuff that bring him right on over. There's a lot of them that have went over there. What was it? Tom Hanks went to Greece. Okay, prosecution says, he says, I want to reach the jurors. I need only one. The judge says he's not permitted to engage in any conduct to impact the jury pool. Well, no, not usually. And the prosecution says his intent is obstructive conduct. He's violated the so-called gag order. He's the one who asked for that order. Facts. Can't deny that. He did. And he obstructed it right off the bat. So that's true. But yeah, Russell Simmons has been gone for 6 months now. He can never come back. He comes back to the United States, he's going to prison. Doing the same thing as this thing. Then you got Tom Hanks, who went to Greece because he was getting ready to be jerked in. A lot of them have fled. Okay, so prosecution comes back. The court entered the order on October 25th. He stated his campaign on October 27th. He couldn't even comply for 2 days. Judge says, what about the Jeffries Abercrombie case where the government agreed to release on $10 million bond? And then he says, we did a letter. That's the letter I read before I started. And that was the United States versus Sean Combs. So they're saying they're different as to multiple factors the court must consider under the Bail Reform Act. First, nature. Hang on one second. The nature of circumstances of the offenses are subsequently different. While the Jeffries case, which spanned from 2018 to 2015, alleges the use of force, fraud, and coercion to engagement in non-consensual acts, there are no allegations that Jeffries committed non-trafficking related violent acts or that he used firearms during the charged period. The indictment against Combs alleges both. With respect to the charged offense, Jeffrey does not include a racketeering offense, but contrast, Combs is charged with a leading a racketeering enterprise. So that's the difference between their cases, which I knew they would come out with that because, of course, they found guns with no serial numbers on them. There was 3 different guns they found, AR-15s with no serial numbers. Yeah, he's asking to essentially make his own prison outside of prison with his own employees he pays. This should be easy and should be hard. Effing no. His kids got their passports back too. Like, no. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. 100%. You got to make it make sense. Hey, SDA, 100%. That's what I'm talking about. This is crazy. But see, the prosecution can't pull out all their stuff at this moment because they got so much, that they're trying to put in the court, not in the bail hearing. And they know as soon as they let him out, P. Diddy, Puffy, Daddy, whatever the heck you want to call him, is gone. Poof. I mean, it's the day, the second they let him out, he probably won't even go to where he's supposed to go. He'd be on a plane and gone because his kids got their passports back. Yeah, it's already discussed. Why do you think he was talking on other people's phones and stuff? There's already a plan in motion. And the government knows it. All right, so we're back. The government says, I think the better comparison is to the 2 prior denials of bail here. The judge says, what about his claim the government spliced the video? And then the prosecution says, he apologized. That's the point. The judge said, why did you use the spliced video, not the original? And the prosecution says, it was public. Meaning it wasn't really spliced, meaning that they took the parts that were different and they put it at the end of it instead of it being all jumbled together. It wasn't really spliced. It's the same damn video. He ran down the hallway. He grabbed her by the back of her thing, threw her to the ground, kicked her several times, punched her, whatever he did, was grabbing her stuff to bring her back, dragging her back. You can't splice that stuff. What he's talking about is when afterwards, when he threw the vases at her and stuff like that after she had gotten back up. They didn't show the part after she had gotten back up is what they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Because remember when CNN showed it, they didn't show the part of her getting up, of him stop dragging her and her getting up and him going into the hallway right there, setting in his towel and throwing bases at her. They didn't show that. That's all they're saying on that stuff. Okay. Prosecution comes back. The cell phone footage was grand jury material, and we didn't want the defendant to be able to retaliate against the grand jury witness. We did add blurring of the victim's face. In 2016, the defendant bribed hotel security $100,000 to make it go away. So see, we were lied to because we were told he bribed $50,000 to make it go away. But no. He bribed $100,000 to make it go away. So we was lied to about that, about how much he paid for it. So her being, okay, so Cassie Ventura being the main witness on this and was going and telling everything, they really didn't want them to know. They didn't want him to be able to retaliate against the grand jury witness, retaliate against Cassie. Which I don't blame him. Look how he paid $100,000 to try to make that video go away. Yeah, exactly. And we seen it all. Because then they showed the other part where she was sitting there after he dragged her. And he was sitting there on the thing and she was standing there and he was throwing bases at her. And he wasn't getting his clothes. He was trying to get her bags to bring her back to the freak off that she didn't want to be at. She was trying to escape. So the cell phone footage was grand jury material, and we didn't want the defendant to be able to retaliate against the grand jury witness. We did add blurring of the victim's face. In 2016, the defendant bribed hotel security $100,000 to make it go away. Judge? Don't you wish well, we're the fly on the wall right now. I really hope not. Curious idea. I really hope not, because you really, listen, this is my personal thing about this whole thing. When the second thing came out, which was the guy who produced the record Love, and he said someone was shot in the bathroom and that, you know, he tried to help him, blah, blah, blah. And it was Justin and it was his dad, blah, blah, blah. And then Sean said, I wasn't here. I think there's several bodies underneath Mr. Combs, but I digress. Okay. I think he is capable of just pulling it out and going, bye. And see, if he could retaliate. Now, there has been cases, I don't know if you all know this or not, where the witness got unalived. How many times is it that the witnesses to that one guy, every witness became unalived? I'm trying to think of his name. He also hung out with Diddy, but he likes him young, but I'm trying to think of his name. He even played on the House of Cards. No, not Shine. He played on the House of Cards. He's real creepy looking. Everybody's always saying stuff about him. But every one of his witnesses have been AMSV have been gone. Every one of them. So nobody could ever testify against him. He was on Epstein. Trying to think of who he is right now. I can't think. Dang it, I can't think. I can see him in my face. I can see him in my eye. I can see him in my head, but I can't think of who he is. I can see him. The picture where he had the little boy over his legs and the little boy. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think of his name. Every witness that ever came, even the 19, 20-year-olds that ever came against him are all gone. No, not Charlie. Look up the House of Cards. It's the main player of the House of Cards. It's the main guy that plays the House of Cards. Every one of his witnesses have gone. Never was able to testify. They were, but not Charlie Mason. No. And even South Park was running out. I wish I knew. I wish I could think of his name because I don't ever think of him much, but he's in trouble too. All right, so we're still waiting. Okay, here we go. All right. Judge, Mr. Agnifilio, Combs lawyer Agnifilio. I'm going to have Miss Shapiro lead us off. So Shapiro comes over. He was not dragging her back to the freak off. The judge says there was dragging. Shapiro says, I didn't mean to. The judge says there was kicking. Shapiro says he has apologized. And then the prosecution says, this is devastating evidence for the trial. It shows why he cannot be released on bail. He is violent and is committed to covering up his crimes. The evidence against him continues to mount. We've learned of punching and kicking employees, partners. Ooh, they're going in. Yes, let them go in. Spacey, Kevin Spacey. Look it up. Everybody who has ever said a word against him, gone. Look it up. Look it up. Gone. Gone. I don't care if they were 18. I don't care if they were 20. They all had no, Donna, talking about Kevin Spacey. They all had an accident. An accident. Well, I heard he fled to Greece, but I don't think so because I think somebody's getting ready to get his ass too. Somebody just said, yeah, the last guy was 18 years old. See, this is the problem. If there is no witness to testify against you, even though there's tape or whatever, and the witness goes, there's no case. And that's what the prosecuting attorney, that's what the government's trying to say, is if there's no witnesses, there's no case. And if he gets out, there's no case. Yeah, Amanda, I know a lot. I'm an investigative reporter, and I used to report this stuff all the time. But I have a brain injury, so lots of things I can't remember right off the top of my head. I try, but I really can't remember it. So if I can't remember it, that's when I try to put out clues until somebody can remember it. So, yeah. And so they're even talking now. They're having to come out and say that he kicked and punched and his employees as well. So this was all under wraps. This wasn't something that they were going to come out and say. But the prosecution is having to bring it all out because what else are they going to do? You know, I mean, So the judge didn't even know that there was dragging, and because Shapiro, the woman, goes, he was not dragging her back to the freak off, and the judge goes, there was dragging, huh? And then Shapiro goes, I didn't mean to, and the judge goes, there was kicking, and then Shapiro goes, he has apologized, Your Honor. Get the, How many times have you ladies or gentlemen been with a mofo who kicked, strangled, attacked, punched, and the next day told you, I'm sorry, honey, please forgive me. I'll never do it ever again. I was just so angry. You make me that angry. Put a 1 in the chat if you've dealt with that, because my 1 is right here. 1. Back when I was young, dumb, and stupid. Not no more. Betty don't deal with that no more. Hell no. But you know how they are. Yes, he was trying to intimidate YouTubers and TikTokers, and that's what they just got through saying, is that is his thing. That is, you're lucky, curious, but seriously, yeah, exactly. Most of us have all dealt with that. Okay, I'm sorry, I was drunk. I don't know what came over me. I'll never do it again. And 2 weeks later, pulling your hair, jerking you down the stairs, beating the crap out of you again. Yeah, us ladies that have been through abuse have been through it. We know. Yeah. Their apologies, just like Diddy's. Shit. Okay. Let's see. So there's still the judge ain't saying nothing at this point. He's I don't know what he's thinking at this point after. Oh, okay, here we go. Let's see. Judge says, what about the 2018 text messages with victim one about violence? Combs lawyer Agnifilio. We have gathered more information about victim one even yesterday. I don't want to quote it because it's under seal and should be. It's consensual. Now they're trying to say it was consensually beat her. Okay. Judge says, I don't want to quote from them, but you know the ones I mean. Agnifilio goes, we are proposing an independent security firm. So now they changed their whole thing. They want an independent one. Just pick one, Judge. There has been mutually regrettable physical contact going both ways. There was violence by this other person and by Mr. Combs, allegedly. Yeah, you better say allegedly, because that girl couldn't even get up to defend herself. Are you kidding me? She was so scared. Oh, anyway, all right. So Combs lawyer Superior, the woman, says in the Lafante case from 2000, the defendant told someone to lie by phone from the MCC. In the Gotti case from 1996, the head of the Gabino crime family, the witness received a kick in the ass. The government does not have that here. So now they're going all the way back to Gotti, John Gotti. Superior's going all the way back to the John Gotti case and the Gabino crime family. What in the world? And the Levante case. I mean, come on. They're just trying, at this point, they're grasping at straws. They ain't got nothing. Amen for that. Amen. I can say honestly, mine's been 9 years. And 9 years of goodness. But before that, before the guy that married me that wasn't supposed to marry me, before that, I was married for 7 years to a guy that never abused me, ever. Not mentally, physically, nothing. Just like it is with my relationship now. He just left me for my friend. And I'm going to have to go to the door in just a minute. My damn shampoo came here from Poland. My physical abuse started with so-called best friend abusing me physically. So that's my radar. I don't let people I'm dating touch me. Luckily or unluckily, the so-called friend was my abuser. And that happens as well. Especially if you got a male friend type of thing, So I'm going to have to go to the door. But yeah, they're going all the way back to 2000 and 1996. To the damn mafia. So now you're seeing he's part of the mafia. No wonder it's so hot in my house. I have a heater on. Oh, she's not here yet. We can wait. She's not here yet. She's still going around. No wonder my damn office was so hot. I was wondering, why am I getting so hot? And here I'm turning on all this shit. It ain't even the stuff I need. Sorry, pardon my French. Oh, Betty, what is wrong with you? I'm cussing up a storm today. Shut your mouth, woman. Ugh. Okay, so far that's what we got on that. The judge is probably still sitting there shaking his head like, oh, she was a female. Was she older than you or something? I'm sorry. You know, nobody should be abused by anybody. I don't believe no hands on no person. Male, female, whoever you are, keep your hands to yourself. Unless you want to throw down and really fight. Then I'm going to throw down and fight. Other than that, keep your hands to yourself, people. I know. What does Gotti got to do with it? Well, they're saying that they intimidated witnesses and stuff, but Gotti, at the end, the feds were after him. And what happened? He got put in jail forever. And he died in Springfield, Missouri, at the Cox Medical Center where I worked. Yes, he did die. I believe it was in 2001, because I was working at Cox Medical Center as an operator, and his family were calling me up and calling me everything but a white woman, because saying that I'm lying, and they know for a fact he's here, and they're going to burn up our building and everything else. Yeah, he had cancer. He went to the federal prison in Springfield, Missouri, and then he died at Cox Medical Center, which is where I just had my operation done day before yesterday, and my gallbladder done. That's where he died at. Yeah, he better just step right there. He is, because there's a world of people mad at him out here. Oh, I know. Because the ex-friend showed me it's not normal to hit someone. She would hit phones on me and tell me to shut up. Oh, hey, I know. His son has a YouTube channel. Oh, you talking about the Gotti one? Yeah. And you know, they just left his mansion and everything. I think that they couldn't keep up with it. I think that was the problem. Hey, the Den, how are you, honey? We are going over the Diddler case. So far, nothing's came back after that. They're like, huh. And that was 5 minutes ago. So, oh, wait. Let's see. Okay, so it says, we cited the Trump case. Defendants have greater rights to speak than their lawyers. And in an Instagram post, as well as, I don't know if I can. And the judge says his communication from the MDC, ? And Shapiro says, he says the prosecution is motivated by racism. Oh my. Yeah, pull the race card. And then Shapiro comes back. This is covered by the First Amendment. Messages they point to are not instructions to lie. There is a barrage of negative media coverage. He has a right to respond to that. The judge says, why not through counsel? Like most people. Shapiro says, we're happy to do that. Okay, then. Yeah, exactly. And that's what started the downfall of Gotti, because then that's whenever they went and they started looking into him. Well, maybe he should have thought of that before, like, the fuck? I can't believe how long they're taking to consider this. Something going on behind the scenes. See what I'm saying? That's what I'm telling you. And if he gets, listen, all those people that testified under grand jury, even the freak off people, the people that he knows he's done things to, they're not safe. I need to go in there and be an attorney. They're not safe. They're not. Because if these people go away, so does the case. Do they not realize this? So Shapiro comes back and says, but we're lawyers. It's not really what we do. Some of these recordings show that he's telling people just the truth. Talk with my lawyer. The judge says, victim 3, you're saying the communications are fine? Shapiro says, yes. Same with witness 1 and 2. No, it's not. How can he be trying to talk to Cassie And the freak off people when they're like, no. When they're saying that they're scared of him. Oh, okay. As long as I put fair use. Okay. Oh, no. I always put it down below. You know that. I always do. But I've seen people do that. They've done it to me, girl. It's BS. It's BS. Yes, for real. You should be there, LaFellow. I don't know how. I'm only just now hearing about you, Betty, but you know your stuff. I'm telling you, girl, I've been talking about this stuff seriously for like over 10 years now. And people thought I was crazy. And then now people got channels that are like 400, 500,000. We all started together and stuff. And they kept taking mine down because they didn't want the truth. Yeah, that's what they were doing to me. I've still got videos on here that's got 10,000, 20,000 where they just ripped it right off. And my picture's up here where I'm talking up in the corner. And I'm even up there talking, saying we need to chat about this. And what happened? They just ripped it right off and just put it right on their shit. And they got 10,000 views. Do you know how much money that was for them? Think about it. Think about that. Think about that. Welcome back, Callan. But think about that. They do. And that's why every time, and my sister's voice, listen, I should have contacted him yesterday, but I didn't feel good because I wasn't feeling good from my procedure, you know. But every time that I put a video that I react to, except Drama T, because you guys all know her, but every time, go back and look through all of my descriptions. It has the link to the video I reacted to. It has that link. Because why? And I even tell all of you, go over there, give them a thumbs up, subscribe, tell them Daze sent you. Because I know what it feels like to be ripped off. Actually ripped off. And my channel go down and their stuff's still up. Okay, so now the judge comes back and he says, what about the communications that are missing? Agnophilia witness 1 reached out to Mr. Combs' counsel and asked us for a lawyer. We didn't do anything along the lines because it was an odd request. I don't know the factual answer. The judge says, how do you know? What? Well, we know what name he was forced to redact. We know what name it was because now in his later years, he is a crab. Like people were outside waiting for autographs from Mr. Denzel. And I know who it is, Denzel. And he was out there and he said, you people have, he came back out and he goes, you people have no, was just screaming at him and like, I told you to wait a minute and I would autograph for you. You people have no respect. And I mean, just going off. Go look it up. It just happened like 2 weeks ago. That's the celeb we're talking about. Yeah, no. No, it's the mean mofo. No, she's been staying out the spotlight. She's scared to death right now. She's scared to death right now. So the judge is saying, because the request was like, I don't know the actual answer. So they're trying to say that witness -1, which was not Cassie, but the other, reached out for counsel and asked them for counsel. And he said, we didn't do anything along those lines because it was an odd request. I don't know the factual answer. And the judge says, well, how do you know? How does he know? Are you just making that up that one of the witnesses came and No. But anyway, yeah, Denzel Washington, go look at not but 2 or 3 weeks ago when he started going off on people just because they was waiting outside for an autograph. And after that, I don't think anybody wanted an autograph from him to be honest with you. I think they were like, they really said he was grumpy and mean. So I don't even think they wanted an autograph. Pooh Bear, no, you got to go over there and lay down. You want in your cage? Mama's not holding you right now. I'm in court. Here, get up here. There, thank you. You'd be my sidekick. So yeah, I think that's who it was because he is so grouchy and all that. Or it could have been Jay. Hang on, I'm trying to think of the ones that she said because I'm getting them all confused because we've got a couple. Haha. You're going to see a lot of them. You're going to see a lot of them. And then they'll come back, make another one and say, oh, somebody deleted it. Somebody deleted it. Yeah, but crazy. So I don't know what they're talking about. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so the judge says, how did you not know? Combs' lawyer, Gargaris, says there was a message from Mr. Combs to witness minus one. I'll like to give it to you under seal. U.S. government Foster may know. It does not give rise to the level of obstruction. I did not have the actual message. I do not have the actual message. And then Combs' lawyer, Gargaris, says, my client obeys me. For example, on victim dash 3, he stopped using ASAP and other phone lines. The messages with witness minus one were pre-arrest. He obeys us. He came to New York in the BOP. When I tell him not to do something, he doesn't. You have to kidding me? Yes, I did. And that's what we were just talking about, that video, because also on that video, she brings up the fact that she took snake venom and gave it to everybody and it was a yellow snake and all of that stuff. And that's the same thing as the movie Blink Twice. So it makes me, even in the movie, the girl stabbed the other girl in the shoulder, even in the movie. And then she's saying she saved Diddy. Her timelines are all over the place. She's saying that now that he'll let us do this, after this, I will play it. Let you all decide. I was going to do it on my Rumble, but then Prime says that if you because they only have it on Prime. And the reason they have it on Prime is because Netflix, we can record it, we can put it up. But on Prime, it turns black. Yeah, it turns black. They have a recording thing on there. That's how they're making their money. So I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, really, I don't. And I don't like to call nobody, say nobody did, stuff like, no. Okay, so Combs' lawyer comes back, Shapiro, and says, I submit that the charges in the Jeffries Abercrombie case are worse than here. They allege an international X trafficking business. They were raped and forced to engage in anal X. EDNY says at the DKT9. What are you talking about? They're worse. Does this woman not know that he made everybody have anal X with him and told people that he would ship them off and they never come back? some of the people, right? Some of the people, one of the people that they're talking about, that's a witness, that's for the grand jury, that's talked to the grand jury, says that he was thrown around like meat, and he didn't want none of it. And they even broke his teeth by putting a contraption in his mouth, keeping his mouth open so they could do things to his mouth. The hell are they talking about? These people, I swear, these people. And this is a woman too. You know, I understand that this is their, you know, their client with the big money, but come on. You need to not say that shit, because like every time that they were great, they were forced to engage in anal. What are you talking about? That's the only way Mr. Combs liked it. I don't even know. I don't know. They're crazy. I don't know. Yeah, and I think there's a lot of things not being said because it's under the rate, or you know, being hidden until the court, the actual court. We're just talking. This is just bail hearing, so they're trying not to give them that much stuff. You know, like they're trying not to give them that much stuff. You know, they said that some of the lawyers were involved, so. Your guess is as good as mine. I don't know. We'll just leave that as if. Could be. I don't know. I can't believe that Gargaris is my client, obeys me. Listen, your client is running amok in the jail. Your client don't obey anything that you say. Your client thinks he's King Tut. Your client don't even have one friend. Not one. All of those friends that, you know, he allegedly, we'll just say allegedly, recorded, allegedly graved, allegedly assaulted, allegedly did all this stuff to, rugged, and allegedly, you know, that's why there ain't no friends. You gotta ask yourself, why is he trying so hard to get out? And I've answered the question for you. I've answered it. Amanda, have you watched the movie Blink Twice? Have you watched the movie Blink Twice, where they have the yellow snake, and then the Indian lady gives her venom, which wakes her up, and then she starts giving venom to everybody, and then the people start waking up and remembering things instead of not remembering things and thinking they're having a great time? That's once she got to that, that's when I was like, man, I don't know. Yeah, it's $5 on Prime. I was going to let all of you see it, but Prime puts it as black screen, so I can't. Go watch it for $5 on Prime, or if you've got Apple, you can watch it for free. That's the around the ending part of it. And it just came out a few months ago, and it started in 2022, and it's got big huge name that's dating Zoe. Oh, I know, MSV. It's got Channing Tatum in it. Channing Tatum is like the guy that has the place in the paradise and stuff like that. That's who he plays. He plays the bad guy. So it's worth a watch. It says it's built. Okay, so Combs' lawyer, Shapiro. While in Jeffrey's case, one defendant is 80 and the other 71. Mr. Combs is 55. I hate to say it, that's not that young. Judge, the U.S. suggests he won't follow conditions. That's what the judge said. The U.S. suggests he won't follow conditions. Shapiro says these conditions are more restrictive than in prison. Well, if they're so restrictive, then, why? Why isn't jail good enough? If they're more restrictive than jail, are you serious? Being out in a $1 million home, they're more restricted than jail? No. So pretty much what they're saying is that the Jeffreys, one's 80, one's 71, they're like about barely alive. And Mr. Combs is 55 years old, kind of still running amok, still able to party, 3, 4, 5 days in a row. I don't know how they're more restrictive than prison. Right. Exactly. Oh, it was $19.99, even on Prime. But now it's $5 to rent it. Can I go straight to number 2 or do I need to see number 1, do you think? Let's see. No, they are not. Yeah, it's blink twice. Blink twice. Blink twice. It has exactly in the movie what that girl says at the ending of her thing. It has it at the ending. It's at the ending of the movie. Burning the house down and everything. All of it. She even says she saved Diddy. She pulled Diddy out. We're gonna watch her. We're gonna watch her. I don't know if you call it a testimony or what you call it, but she had an attorney. She was like the third person that sued Combs, but since she lied so much in the jail stuff, they dropped her. And she had the same attorney as Cassie. So now she needs attorney. And all you got to do is blink twice. You had it right. Yeah. Blink twice. And I don't know. I don't say that no witness is lying because I can't say that witnesses are lying. I wasn't there. I wasn't the fly on the wall. I don't know. I just know that it's strange that it's the same thing as the movie. And if that's the case, like I said, if they stole her story, then she should be suing them for stealing her story. It shouldn't just be suing Diddy. It should be suing them too. Yeah, she used to take up for Diddy all the time. I wonder what happened to her. Is she not around no more? No, Victoria, I'm in court. Go. Here. Listen. Not today, child. Not today. Get in here. Leave me alone. I'm good for today. Now, you stop doing that. But yeah, I haven't been to could they have? I don't know. We're gonna play it after this. We're gonna play, and I'm gonna let all of you I'm going to let all of you decide on everything because there's so much up and down, and she jumps from different places, years. I don't even know how long she was there. At one point, she says it started when she was in 6th grade. By the time she got back to her dad's, she was in the second thing of 7th grade. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so they said, Agnifilio says there's an apartment on the Upper East Side. We have one available, 3 bedrooms. Judge says, where are the 24/7 security going to be? Agnifilio says, would you like to speak to him or me? It's Patriot Security. They merged with Crisis 24. The judge says, Mr. Agnifilio, where is the home he'd be in? Agnifilio, I don't want to give the address. It's on Star Island. There's a causeway. There is a dock, but there would be no boat. Judge says, that's not going to work. We're in New York. Agnifilio, give me a minute. Then that's when he found the apartment. Oh, goodness gracious. Then Agnifilio says there will be 2 security guards in the apartment and 1 downstairs. So a total of 3. No access to phones or the internet except for calls with counsel arranged by the security personnel. This is more restrictive than in the MDC. Agnifilio says Mr. Combs would avoid all contact with anyone who may be a witness. I think he has the right to do that, but I want to make sure it is easy for the court as possible. We are going to investigate thoroughly before the May 5th trial. He has a right to assist. Uh-oh. They found an apartment in 5.3 seconds because the house wasn't going to work. Upper East Side apartment. And they found a security company called Patriot Security that merged with Crisis 24. You know, I don't know. And they're saying 3 total guards. No access to phones or internet, except for calls with counsel. Now, who can be sure that he ain't going to have access 24/7 to a cell phone? Yeah. Hey, Navy Mom, I'm doing great, honey. Just in court right now. Maybe he knew she was grandiose because of her writings. She talked about in the beginning, you know, you could be onto something with that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. This is getting scary with these questions. Like they're really considering this, what is going on in this world. Yeah, I don't know, Tara. We're still on it right now. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. And like I said, when it comes to witnesses, I don't like to discredit anyone. It wasn't my, it's not me. I wasn't the fly on the wall and I wasn't there. So it's not me to say. I just try. Okay, so the judge says the government is saying Mr. Combs would be paying these people. It comes down to trust. Combs' lawyer, Agnifilio. It's a different relationship. These are professionals that are only going to be in his life for 8 months. It's a high-profile case. Oh, man, this is not looking good. You know people are going to be shaking in their boots if he gets out. And some are going to be so scared. Some are going to be so scared that they're not going to testify. I'm telling you right now, they're going to be so scared of him. They're not going to testify. They're going to say, no, you can't give me witness protection. You can't make it to where I'm not going to be gone. No, I'm not testifying. And that's gonna make the case dwindle to nothing. I can't believe this judge is doing this. I honestly, I mean, they're not even bringing out the real shit. They're not even bringing out where he raped Justin Bieber. If you want to get technical, that is on tape. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. No, I don't believe so. I don't believe so. I don't believe so. I don't believe they will at all. Nope, I believe people are still afraid of him and how much pull he has. Okay, now we're back again. Agnifilio says he's been in jail 66 days without a laptop. He only got one a few hours ago. What is unique here is to have waited 9 weeks to get a laptop into the MDC. The judge, the solution is for you to come to me. We can call these hearings, which get things done. So the judge says, the solution is for you to come to me. We can call these hearings, which get things done. Which get things done. So the whole time he's been incarcerated, the 66 days, not one time, not one time he got a laptop. That's what I'm saying, Amanda. I don't know. I'm just, yeah, I think the judge, I'm telling you, that's what it sounds like to me too. Because they've been in there a long time. I start at 1 o'clock. We're at we're at 2. Yeah, an hour and 28 minutes. An hour and 28 minutes, and they ain't even showed the video. The 20-minute video. They ain't even brought in the specialist or whatever that they were going to do. They're just arguing back and forth and where to put him. Well, there goes their witnesses. Because they got no way. The United States government's got no way. Okay, Combs lawyer Agnifilio says, I have a whole presentation ready about the tape, but if you got enough, I can save everyone 15 minutes. The judge says, I have reviewed it. Who is here from pretrial services? Pretrial services. We maintain conditions insufficient. So pretrial services says we maintain conditions insufficient. So they're not sufficient enough to keep him from running amok on a phone, running amok on a laptop, scaring the people, threatening their lives, paying them off, hey, redheaded, paying them off. Right. No cell phone, but laptop's okay. It's the craziest thing. So now he reached out to, the judge reached out to pretrial services and said, who is here from pretrial services? ? Pretrial services. We maintain conditions insufficient. So not sufficient. And the judge said he already reviewed that tape and that it wasn't like they said it was. That's why he said, you better keep your stuff together. No more lying. Because you've been caught lying. Oh, goodness gracious. I don't know. And I feel so naked, everybody, because ever since I had my surgery, I don't got my nose ring in. I don't got my necklaces in. I keep reaching for them. Like, the only thing I got on is my bracelet and my rings. But you know how you're so used to having your necklace and you look over and you're like, wait, where's my necklace? Where's my earrings? That type of thing. I feel naked because I always have my cross on. And I just have to wait for a hubby to put it back on because it's so tiny, little bitty. I can't do it. So the pretrial services are saying, no, it's not sufficient. That they maintain conditions insufficient. And just like, if you think about it, 3 security guards, you don't think that he could get them to drink or eat something that would make them rugged to where he just walks right out the door? Now, we got to remember who we're messing with here. This person allegedly rugs people. Cookies, food, drinks, Cokes, juices. He could just go out there and say, hey, you want a soda? You know what I'm saying, though? It could very well happen. And then he could just have his freak offs. Or he could freak all the way out of the United States of America, which is where I think he's headed. Either that or there'll be more supposed bodies. Allegedly. My opinion only. Both kind of got reprimanded. Defense for the legal pad debacle, the prosecutor for editing Cassie's video. Now they're talking about release conditions, like even searching apartments. I know. I'm just like, I can't. I don't know what to say about this. And then the preliminary people are like, no, not going to work. Not going to work. Because he asks, where are they? And they're like, no. Okay, so the USA says, consider witness -1, a participant in multiple freak-offs. Defendant continued to contact witness -1 after counsel was retained. The Instagram post was planned for a week using Contact Me ASAP and other inmates' codes. So they're coming back to, look what he done in jail. The judge then says, have there been other cases with private guards? Pretrial says, not that I'm aware of. Note, there was a UN corruption case in NG Lapsinga, and he got messages with door closed while confined in in an apartment. So the person's who's writing saying that there was one in the UN, but not in USA. So the girl that was the witness -1, a participant in multiple freak-offs, defendant continued to contact witness -1 after counsel was retained. The Instagram post was planned for a week using Contact Me ASAP and other inmate codes. So while he was in jail, he got a hold of her and made her retract everything and that he was wonderful, blah, 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 whatever. And posted on Instagram. while he's been locked up. Okay, so now the U.S. comes back and says his family members said the lawyers say not to do it, and the defendant responds, I don't care. It's my birthday. Judge says, Ms. Shapiro said sharing codes is common and that conduct was covered by the First Amendment. And then the USA comes back and says BOP handbook prohibits this, which is true. You're not allowed to have three-way calling. It says it right on the call. You're not allowed to use other inmates' codes or other inmates' stuff. But, you know, Shapiro's saying it's common. Sharing codes is common, even though it's against the law. Even though it's against the law, Your Honor, it's very common. You know, we are dealing with felons in here. You know, it's against the law, but that's okay. It's all right. No big deal. The codes are common too, you know. The USA comes back and says a BOP handbook prohibits it. Even says it on the calls, like, hello. Oh, it's making me nervous, though. It's making me very nervous because, like his family members said, we don't do this, blah, 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 you know. And then he's like, I don't care what they say. Thanks, Amanda. Oh, we don't know, Kathy. We don't know. We don't know. Yes, that's true. You go to solitary confinement for using someone's code. What is he talking about? I know. That's what I'm saying. And Blade Runner says, I never expected this of Diddy. Honey, I was talking about Diddy 10 years ago. I expected all of this from Diddy and more. Is that what Ernie got in trouble for? No, Ernie got in trouble. Yeah, he did because he was on that Facebook call. Yeah, he got all his privileges taken away. Yep. Yeah, that's what it was for. Yeah. So now they're just acting like it's okay. No big deal. They do it all the time. No big deal. He's just doing what they do. He's just doing what the criminals do. Don't you all know? That's just sharing codes is common. Who cares if it's against the law? Everybody in there has done something against the law. Do you think you're really going to keep them from doing it, sir? I can't. And it's a woman coming back and saying this. You know what I mean? Like, I can't even, like, and never in history of the United States, in history, have they ever found anybody else, you know, that actually had private guards. There's been no other cases of people living in apartments with private guards. So if he gets bail, I'm just saying. Okay, now just confirmed. U.S. announces the Hector Collin, a former NYCHA superintendent, was convicted today for taking thousands of dollars from contractors in exchange for no bid contracts or approving payment on previously awarded contracts at the NYCHA developments. Yeah, that's another case going on. So he's bringing that the same. He shouldn't be putting it underneath the same thing. I read that in the same line because it's underneath the same thing as us looking to see what's going on with Diddy. I think he accidentally wrote it in the wrong line. Yeah, they're not coming back. They're not saying nothing right now. They're just, I don't know. That's why he wrote that, was talking about okay, so the USA comes back and says defendant has used at least 8 inmate codes. He's bought them. The judge says, they say contact me ASAP operates through TrueLink's Trust Fund, Limited Inmate Computer System. USA says it's not permitted. In the Jeffries, one is detained. Oh, so one of the guys did not get bond. And the judge says a foreign national. So now the judge is coming back and bantering back and forth because one of the guys in the case is not been detained, but that's because, or is being detained because he's not in the United States. I can't believe we're going on almost 2 hours of this. So the judge is saying, they say contact me ASAP operates through TrueLink's Trust Fund Limited Inmate Computer System. Yeah, but you're not supposed to use it. That's what the United States is saying. You're not supposed to use it. It's not permitted. I don't know. Man, this is a long time. You know, an hour, we're going on an hour and 42 minutes. You know, oh yeah, if he gets bail, he's gone. He's either gone or his witnesses are gone. One or the other. They're going to accidentally have fires in their cars. He's already blown up people's cars. Allegedly. Remember in the filing with Cassie? Kid Cudi? She said he blew up his car. Allegedly. Hey, Izzy. But allegedly he blew up his car. So what would he not do? What would he not do? Then the second witness that's been hiding out for over a year now, that put the second lawsuit against him, that guy, talking about shooting in bathroom. What would he not do? Now we just wait some more. I don't even know. The poor guy writing this, you know, you gotta like write really fast, try to get it out and try to get the what they're really saying, you know, at the same time. I really feel for the press on this because, you know, it's a lot. We're not getting exactly everything that's being said because it's just too much. We're just getting the main important points of it, you know, because it's just too much to write down. So I really feel, you know, for them. Okay. The USA comes back and says, this is more similar to the cases where detention was ordered. R. Kelly, Keith Raniere, Larry Ray, Book on Ray. So true. R. Kelly was, he couldn't get released. Keith Raniere couldn't get released and Larry Ray couldn't get released. That is true. And they were all for the same thing. They all went down for the same thing. Oh, we know who did that. Yeah, he was. You know who did that. You don't know who did. You don't. Izzy. That's been going around a long time. It being Drake. Oh, yeah, he's running too. The closest country with no extradition. You better believe it. Judge better believe it. Or she got blood on her hands too. There you go. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, he gonna give that 50 mil and go, boop, I'm out. I'm out. Yeah, well, they're saying it was part of the Illuminati, but I don't know. He was live saying it himself. He was live saying it himself that his life was in danger. But it may have had something to do with Mr. Diddler too. I don't know. Okay, so the judge comes back and says, I suggest both parties put in letters by Monday at noon about what type of communication Mr. Combs may engage in. Monday at noon. I see people from the second row standing up. Combs' lawyer, Tony Rico, we had to email for a week to get him file folder. Does this mean he got out? I suggest both parties put in letters by Monday at noon about what type of communication Mr. Combs may engage in. Monday at noon. I see people, the guy says, I see people from the second row standing up. Combs' lawyer, Tony Rico, says, we had to email for a week to get him a file folder. Wah, wah, wah. I don't know. I don't know if he got it or not. Because once USA came out and said this is the same cases where detention was ordered with R. Kelly, Keith Raniere, and Larry Ray, they all couldn't get out. It didn't matter how much bond they put up. They couldn't get out. They were a danger. I don't know. I don't know what's Monday. Monday at noon. Of the communications that Combs may engage in. Doesn't the judge know what communications he can engage in? I mean, hasn't the judge been doing this for 20 years? He should know what the MDC is allowed. Combs' lawyer, Rico, his adult children are willing to obey. He's not a lawless person. We spend hours at the MDC. Mr. Combs was writing down what I said. He's not out of control. DOJ is responsible for the MDC. Those call from me all the time and I hang up. What do you mean he's not out of control? He's running amok in the jail. DOJ is responsible for the MDC. Department of Justice is responsible for the MDC. Those call from me all the time and I hang up. So I think that he's saying that those people call him all the time and he hangs up. And they're trying to say he's not a lawless person, Your Honor. Matter of fact, he shouldn't even be in jail, Your Honor. He's an upstanding citizen who used to have the keys to New York and throw the best parties ever. Combs' lawyer comes back, Rico, and says he has access to cell phones in the MDC, but not under our conditions. He fights. He kicks. He makes phone calls. This can be addressed. Thank you. Judge says, we're going to get a decision out prompt next week. Okay. So if he has been, the judge has been paid, he's making it look really good with the payment, because now he's saying we'll come back next week with a decision Monday at noon, because that's when he wants all what they can call and they can do. And you know, it's so important for him to be out of jail so he can prepare for this case. Okay, judge says letters Monday, adjourned. That's it. We're going to get a decision out prompt next week. Okay, so what do you think of that? Don't know if he's getting out or not. Monday, continuance to Monday at noon. Yeah, he's lost. Yeah, he's lost his mind, and really, he has nothing to like. At this point, like, honestly, you'd have to ban the laptop. This man cannot watch Sesame Street with good intentions. Come on. This is not hard, Judge. Yeah, it's evidently hard. Yep. He gonna go back. He gonna think about it. Now I'm going to play the girl and her story. Hey, Margaret, I'm going to play her story and let all of you decide from there. And then I highly suggest, if none of you have watched the Blink Twice, go watch Blink Twice. But I'm going to get that up there real quick. And like I said, I'm for all victims, so I wasn't there. This is her story, not mine. This is by the Lionel B Show, and in the description below will be his link that I always put out. Okay, so we're gonna get right down into it, and I'm sorry if you can't follow along, because it goes all over the place. Do your best to try to follow along. You're welcome, Amanda. Do your best, because it's very, very hard. But I'm gonna let all of you.
When I was there, like, it was horrible. It was horrible. It was so horrible. I can't describe how horrible it was. Everybody telling me not to speak, but just let them reveal my face. And like I'm telling people around me, if I wanted the money, I would have been and took the money. Like, they've been paying me money, and I've been living like I'm broke. They got my pictures out here. Who put my pictures out here?
Now, peeps, I sat down for the most exclusive pictures all over the internet with multiple celebrities eating food off of her body when she was just a preteen. We've seen her sitting in Diddy's lap in the studio when she was even younger. Now, hear her story for the very first time. We've heard stories of her abuse by famed actress Jennifer Lopez. She details her abuse by Diddy and other Hollywood elites. She fought back tears as we sat down for her heartfelt story. Now, this is definitely an interview that you don't want to miss.
The following content is the exclusive intellectual property of the Lionel B Show. We strongly forbid any reproductions or reaction videos for the following content. Any violations.
Absolutely. So let's start at the beginning. How did you
first meet Diddy? How did you get connected with Diddy, and how old were you when you met him?
In the 2000, I'm
gonna take me out the screen.
Basically 10, 11 is when I lost my virginity. I met him 6th grade that summer or whatever, and I remember Pierre Harvey coming by because then I started writing music for P Diddy, and P Diddy liked the music, but Pierre Harvey was coming by, and at first he was nice and he was paying me too. But I remember one time he came in, like, he got snatched the book out of my hand and he didn't pay me my money. And then he came back another time and he had a big phone. And like back then the cell phone was like real big and thick. He had a big thick ass cell phone.
Okay, hold up.
He was telling me,
I gotta say something. Okay, so MSV was saying that yes, they did take out things. Yes, they did. They took out this name. They took out that name right there because when she first started, she said that she was had a friend at school, was getting bullied after the 9/11 for wearing a hijab, and she wrote a book and she gave it to her dad because her dad was in with them, and he came back as a ghostwriter, and then he brought that person right there. Yeah, he brought that all of this that he was forced to take out, I'm going to say, because I wrote it down on paper. Anyway, so she was asking $30, $40 for each compensation book that she wrote. And then she asked, and then the ghostwriter for P. Diddy came by. That name right there I just wrote. And he told her, he said that give her whatever she wants, because she said 500. Her being a kid, she said 500. And he said give her whatever she wants. And then what she's saying right now is going into Pierre came back by whenever the cell phone and stuff like that. Yeah, I would too, for sure. But anyway, that's what was taken out.
That P. Diddy wanted to meet me or whatever. He wanted me to come to his flavor camp for 48 hours. So he told me to ask my grandmother, could I go? I asked my grandmother, she said no. And at the time, my mother was on drugs. And I was all like, I was mad at her because I'm like, I want to be famous. I want to be rich or whatever. I want to be famous. He gonna make me a singer, and we're gonna be rich. He's saying that I got potential to be like the next Michael Jackson. Is basically what the nigga was telling me. And she said no. So when he called on the phone, I was like, she said no, I gotta ask my mama. She was being funny, like, ask your mama. But she knew my mama wasn't around. So I told them that, and they was like, we'll take you go find your mom. And I was like, for real? And he was like, yeah. So when they came back, I was expecting P. Diddy to be outside, but P. Diddy wasn't outside. Pierre Harvey was outside, and he picked me up. When I got to the car, he was all like, he put P. Diddy on the phone because I was like skeptical about getting in the car. So he had to call P. Diddy for me to hear his voice. And once I heard his voice, I got in the car. And then when I got in the car, I remember him like, eat the candy, eat the jelly beans. I think I had on pink that day. Pink, like some pink sweats and like a shirt. And I had bobos in my head. And he was like, eat the candy, eat the candy. And some said don't eat the candy, but then he was like being real persistent. Eat it, eat it, eat it, eat the candy, try it. These are new jelly beans. We just invented these with jelly beans. And when I ate the jelly bean, I was like, this is nasty. And I was spitting it out. And as I spit it out, I was like, I want to get out the car. And he slammed the door, and then he got in the car. And I remember being out of there. And I remember them putting me on the jet and them saying, damn, this little heavy. I remember him being like, wake up, wake up. I remember waking up. I remember my ear popping, and I remember my stomach dropping on the airplane.
So it was a private jet that they put you on?
Mm-hmm. It was just us. I'm calling it airplane. That's what I called it back then, but it was a jet. I remember getting there to the studio. I'm out of there, sleep on the couch. I remember Asian man or Chinese man being there, and he was all like, "You did this to my son. I'm going to the police. Like, you did this to my son. He's in the hospital." And he was all like, "If I was you, I wouldn't say nothing or whatever. You're gonna end up dead." And like the man looked terrified when he said that. You know, I don't give about you going to the police, and I'm going in and out. Um, I remember looking on the pool table, and there was a lady getting on the table. I thought she was Mexican, but she was the Arabian lady that was Miss Gloria Alvarez. I saw her getting on the table, but I was like I was conscious, but I was coherent, but I couldn't move. And then I remember it being like, I'm thirsty. I remember him giving me something to drink, and I remember it tasting nasty, and him laughing, and him doing his little dance, talking about welcome to the flavor camp in my face or whatever. And then I remember coming to, and he was telling me, asking me if I smoke, if I drink, and I told him no, and he was telling me basically I can't turn down anything that he offers me. I have to, if he offer it to me, I have to do it. I remember him giving me a tour of the place and him giving me the camera. I remember him like trying to make me feel comfortable, and he was like complimenting, saying, "Oh, she got a nice." I felt so uncomfortable. He's like, "Don't she got a nice body? Her ass is nice." I remember that. I remember him telling me to get the camera and to take pictures.
What did he have you taking pictures of, or
Like
of yourself?
studio, he took pictures of me, and like when I took a picture, and I'm like in front of the thing, I'm taking pictures like this, and I took a picture of the bed. That was me. I just took a picture of the bed. He like, go walk around. I put my phone on do not disturb. He was like, go walk around, and he told me to take pictures. And I remember taking pictures of the bed, like take pictures or whatever. And I remember taking a picture of the bedroom. I took a picture in the studio, and he was like recording me. And I also I'm just going in and out, in and out. I don't know. He offered me something else, and I passed out. But then I remember being in that room with him, and he was all like being extra touchy with me, and I was like, yeah. I started feeling like he was a creep, but I was still like going along with it. And he was like, "What kind of sex you like?" Like he was asking me about me being molested, and I was honest with him, and I told him about stuff, because he was like the stuff that I was writing. I had to be like, they was asking me, have I ever been molested? Have I ever had sex?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, knowing I was a virgin. I've been molested, but I never been penetrated.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he asked me what kind of cocks I like, and I was like, real big cocks. I like big cocks, real big cocks. And he sent Roger Bonds to go buy a pink dildo. And I remember waking up, looking in the mirror. I look in the mirror and I see P. Diddy behind me. And I know when I was in the room, he took my virginity on that bed. And I remember screaming and hurting, but I had to take that. I had to take it. But then after that, I remember I just woke up again. I'm in the bathroom, bent over the sink,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm yelling, but I guess I'm not making noise. I don't know. But I'm yelling, it hurt. Please stop. I'm weak. I can't move. And he's fucking me or whatever. He turned me around, kissed me in my mouth, and was like, I'm not gonna hurt you. But he was hurting me. And he turned me back over, and when he stuck it in my, he told me pinch his nipples and all type of crazy shit. He kissed me in my mouth, and he turned me back over, and I passed out again when he stuck it in my ass, and the pain stopped, and then I was relieved, and then I felt the pain again, and when I woke up, it was Pierre Harvey behind me, and he stuck it in my ass, and um I remember looking and yelling, no, stop, no, stop. And I happened, the Jewish guy was behind Pierre, like on the side. It was like in his bathroom at that studio. It was like a restroom stall in there. Um, I remember, and then after he finished, I remember P Diddy telling, I was asking the Jewish guy to help me because I know he just had a baby, and I was looking at him for help, and he was all like, I don't want to do this. I want to do this. And he was like, if you don't fuck her, I'm going to fuck you. So the dude got behind me and his stuff was soft. But he was like acting like he was doing it with me. And then like I wasn't yelling, I wasn't screaming like I was. So then Diddy kind of pushed him back. But Diddy had told that man if he didn't do it to me, he was gonna kill him. That man, hurry up, got naked. And I remember Diddy pushing him out the way. And or no, Pierre pushed him out the way. I remember Pierre smoking crack out of like a crack pipe. I don't know if it was crack. I don't know what the was in it, but a crack pipe is where it's circle. You know, it's not. It's he was smoking out of that, and I remember him making me give him head, and like I was using my teeth and everything. He slapped me upside my head, and he was all like, "Don't use your teeth." But I couldn't breathe, and like he was just gagging me with his dick. It was just so like their dicks were just so big. I remember after that, it was like a break in between, but then I remember looking to my left and P Diddy's in the doorway with like one of them old school cameras, and he's sitting there jacking off and sitting in a chair in the doorway of the restroom. I remember passing out, waking back up, being over the sink, and this nigga sticking a champagne bottle in. I was like yelling at that point. I know I was yelling at the top of my lungs, and they just had me so hurt. And they left me in their restroom, and I don't know how long I was in that restroom, but my legs and stuff wouldn't work. And some white guy came and got me out the restroom.
So it was like a security guard or somebody that picked you up, or
This white guy, he when he smiled, he has a cat like a smile like Garfield. Uh, he picked me up, and I was like, I just want to go home. I just want to go home. And he was like, I'm gonna take you home. I got you. I'm gonna take you home. So they put me back on the jet, and I wake up. I'm with some other white girls, like we all teenagers. They were a little bit older than me. Um, I wake up with them, and like at first it wasn't like it was fun, but then they disappeared from me, and it was me by myself. And I remember being drugged the whole time, and I remember them drugging me so much, and they wanted me to feel the pain, and they had my hand over the stove. I remember waking up screaming. This was a fat white guy. He kind of hunchback, got a pointy nose. This fat white guy, he was just passing me to different white men, and and to a point they all started looking the same to me. God say, I'm trying to take my time, Lord.
take your time.
Um,
It's tough. I know it's tough, man. No, it's hard. Take some breaths.
okay, it's just the memory that I think it's the memory. And it's like every time I think about it, it's like I relive it. And I'm there and I see it. My body can't move, but I'm there. And I don't know what days it was. I don't know the time. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just know it was daylight, or I know if it was hot. I remember them having me in the summertime, and I remember being there in the cold. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was there, like it was horrible. It was horrible. It was so horrible. I can't I can't describe how horrible it was. Um After that happened, it's like it goes in and out. I remember trying to escape. I remember the brown children. I remember being locked in a cage with these brown kids. I don't know what race they were, but I know they looked at black, but they didn't speak English.
How many kids would you say was in there with you?
Had to be like 30 or 50 kids, but it kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller because they were hunting these babies. It got like it was like until I noticed it, I was just in the cage. But before they
Hold on just 1 second. Yeah, uh, uh, hold on. So what happened in court, he did not get bail. It said that they would come back Monday at noon and let them know. It says, okay, now Sean Combs' argument for bail will third time be a charm after blah, blah, blah. Okay, it says, Combs' lawyer Rico, he has access to cell phones in the MDC, but not under our conditions. He fights, he kicks, he makes phone calls. This can be addressed. Thank you. And the judge says, we're going to get a decision out prompt next week, which is Monday at noon, which is when he wanted other stuff. So I don't know why the news would be reporting saying that he got bail because he didn't get bail. You know, so you know, and so then with this girl, she starts in a moment, she's going to start talking about Blink Twice, the movie Blink Twice. And she also had the attorney Cassie had, but then they dropped her because they said she lied on court on the everything they found. So I don't know. Like I said, I wasn't the fly on the wall or nothing. And I'm with all of you. I want you as people to decide what you think. I know what I think, and I'm not saying what I think, but I'm with you. I'm with you. So
like took me out the cage and put me back in the cage, they had me these babies with them. I remember him shooting his baby. The baby had to be no more than 5 or 6. This baby, this boy, he hunts me in my dream, and he is the age he probably would have been now, but he hunts me in my dreams, like when I have out of body experience, and like it's like he's chasing me. I remember he shot that baby, and I was like, I'm not gonna stop him, and he pick up the knife, so I picked up, and I was just going like this. The baby had to be no more than 5 or 6, to be honest.
yes, I agree, Chantel.
He had me bathing them, feeding them, washing them off, and bathing them, feeding them. I remember me being in the cage. I kept letting them out the cage. I remember I kept opening the cage, letting them out, and like they used to have to get them and run after them, get them. I remember them being in there, and we was saying our names, and I was like, Lamisha, and one said her name. She was talking in her language, and I didn't hear nothing, but she was like, fight. So every time we got out the cage, it was like we all, like when it was time to get ready, everybody having sex, that's when I started fighting back. I remember
I know it's hard. I know it's hard.
I remember they had a tray, and on the tray, the knife, it was a corkscrew, it was a glass bottle, it was a candle, and it was a cigar on the tray. And I remember all of them had to stick it in me. And I will never forget how Bill Cosby lit the cigar and put it out on my vagina.
So Bill Cosby was one of the people there?
Yes. I never came forward to his case or whatever, but he had Jane Doe's, but that opened up all the old stuff that he been doing, but I never came forward in that because my grandmother never took me. She never reported me missing, and she never took me to do a police report. And as I'm calling, getting help from these lawyers, it's like nobody can help me. And like I need help with a lawyer. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like I know that's me. Like I can provide pictures, not the picture that they have because they have the original. The police had the original copy of that picture of me. You know what I'm saying? They had the original copy of that picture of me. I don't have no picture. I got pictures of how I looked at that time, you know, that like you can see my shoulder and I'm still got the same frame, but I don't have those pictures anymore. I remember he did what he did to me, and then when it was time for Jennifer Lopez, she was there with a guy and he was standing there looking disgusted, but didn't nobody save me. She stuck that glass in me, and after that, like, but my eyes were booked the whole time, and it put a blindfold on me. I remember them beating the fuck out of me. I remember them hog tying me. I remember it was. I remember them all being mad at me because I put snake venom in everybody's drinks and shit because everybody acting like they couldn't remember. But when this witchy lady, she gave me she was in a red room and the room had mirrors everywhere and it was a yellow snake in the damn sink. She gave me the venom and whatever she gave me, it made me still be numb. But I like whatever she gave me, it made me coherent. Like I was I was coherent to everything, but I still couldn't move. You know what I'm saying? And I put it in everything. And I remember Kris Jenner being mad about it. And I stabbed her on her left side of her shoulder, like right here. This is where I stabbed her right there. And no, it's not allegedly. It really happened. It really happened. And I hope by me going live and me telling some stuff that it don't help him get off. You know what I'm saying? Because they saying like, you know, I don't need to talk, but I don't have no lawyer. I don't have nobody to represent me. And if it was for the money, I would have been and took the money.
All right.
I would have been and took the money.
It's all right, sis. Speak your truth. Speak your truth.
I end up he burned down his building to cover up all the evidence and some bodies, some more people that was there. Yeah, that's the building he caught talking about because he ended up doing some shit. He slipped, fell, hit his head, and I ended up pulling him out. I wanted to leave him in there, but the power of God told me to do it. And God told me to get him. And I wanted to let that nigga burn. I wanted to let that nigga die. I swear for God, I wanted to let him die. I can't tell you. I wanted to let him die. I cannot make this up. I cannot make this up. Yes, I was young, and yes, I pulled out a grown man out of a burning place. You hear me? And then I jotted for the woods, and I was lost in the woods. I died in the woods. God brought me back to life, and I just told God, just please kill me. I don't want to kill me. I'm hungry. I was in the woods. I don't know how long I was in the woods until I made it to the barbed wire fish beat me up. I was already beat up because before I made it to the woods, they beat the damn dildo inside of me. The dildo he made Roger Bonds go by. He told that man go buy that dildo. They beat that dildo inside of me, and I don't know. I went to the highway. I made it through the barbed wire fence, and I'm like, damn, I thought I was in the jungle because they kept telling me you're in the jungle, so I didn't know where the fuck I was at. I'm thinking I done ran away from Africa to America. That's what I'm thinking in my kid mind. You know what I'm saying? And this is how I wrote my police report. This is how the first police report is written. You know what I'm saying? And I get to the barbed wire fence. I almost get hit by cars because it's the barbed wire fence, and then it was the freeway. And I collapsed on these trash bags. And some white man, I think his name was Samson, he picked me up, and he drove me from Miami and took me back to New York. And when I came in there, I would beat the fuck up. And they was like, who did this to you? And they tried to get the white man. I said, he didn't do it for me. He didn't do that to me. He saved my life. And he didn't take me to the police station in Miami because I was telling him that it was like the sheriffs, the people worked for the Miami police place was doing that to me. And I was telling him, he told the police did this to me because the nigga was around police. He was around a lot of elite white people. I was like, the police did this to me. So he said he drove me from Miami and he drove me to New York. And I remember them taking my statement. I remember I remember lying about my age on the first time I told them I was 17 because I was scared. I don't know. I lied. And I remember I wrote the first statement. I wrote it and I tried to cover up stuff, but then I told them I had to use the restroom, and they was like, "No, you can't use the restroom." But before all this happened, they brought Mr. Williams in there because they was like, this is good. You're gonna want to hear this." And he was like, "Who did this to you?" And I was like, "P. Diddy." And I named other people that I was around, and he was all like, "Well, how old are you? Where your name? Where you from?" I lied and I said I was Mexican. I used to say I was Mexican. I lied and stuff and said I was from Michigan, and like I just made up a whole bunch of different stories. And I end up seizing out, and I told them I had to go to the restroom. They was like, "No, you can't use no restroom until you finish writing." And I ended up writing everything out, which was the truth. And I ended up seizing out. And I remember them rushing me. I remember Mr. Williams was with me the whole time. I remember I was in pain, so my whole body hurt. So I didn't know the difference. They did operations to remove something out of me. I felt the same way I felt before they did the operation. I remember him showing me the video, and I'm like, "That's not me." And it looked like they pulling the fucking intestines out of me. And it was that pink dildo all on it. And he was like, I was like, "That's not," I was like, "Ew, what is that?" I was horrified. And he was like, "This is you. Who did this to you?" And I went on and told him the truth. Diddy did this. I remember them having to sew me up and reconstruct my stuff down there. I didn't go straight home. He said, I can't send her home like this. He waited till that my big eye went down, but I didn't make it back home until October, November. I started the 7th grade, the second semester, and I started with my dad. I lived with him my second semester of school. I lived with my dad. I remember Mr. Williams being there with me, and like, he not gonna testify or be on my behalf, but I said I would never came forward if I never saw him on TV. You hear me? Because he is my angel. He is my angel. And God knows, God knows that man is my angel. And I'm not trying to be on here looking crazy. You know what I'm saying?
No, you're right. You're all right.
I won't be on here looking crazy and crying and shit, looking ugly in the face, on here crying.
You went through some traumatic stuff, so that's normal.
Yeah. Everybody telling me not to speak, will just let them reveal my face. And like I'm telling people around me, if I wanted the money, I would have been and took the money. Like, they've been paying me money and I've been living like I'm broke. See that way. He got in this situation. He got in this situation, and I have to get justice. Like, if I don't think I see your way. I won't sue nobody else, but we gotta get justice. I just have to get justice. I have to. I don't want to be talking and doing this interview and help him. I just need justice and I need help. They got my pictures out here. Who put my pictures out here?
So Mesha, yeah, definitely that part. Let's talk about those photos that's all over the internet. So basically that's you on the table with the food on you and they're eating off of you.
Yes.
How old were you in those photos?
I was 13. I didn't turn 14 till the end of that year. I don't turn, like, my birthday is in December. So like right now I'm 33, but when January after December I'm gonna be 34. Like, I always turn the same age at the end of the year, and I don't know who has it. I don't know who. They got the video of me being when I was gone with the white men. They were doing weird shit to me, like they beating me. This woman flat out my hair, got me ready for this man named Joey, and they beating me. Got me strapped to a tree, and like I just feel like I'm being bullied because they putting it out there. You know what I'm saying? Who would glorify this? This is nothing to glorify. And it is like everybody that's coming forth and they doing interviews. Everybody that's doing interviews has something to do with me. Everybody is doing interviews has something to do with me. And I'm just sitting back and I'm just watching people. Like, I don't watch TV, listen to music no more, because everybody that you listen to, it hurt me. You understand what I'm saying? And
So there were a lot of celebrities involved, and
even if he would tell him I was 17, I was still underage. The fake age that people told me to say, like, I was still underage. And this man had my mind gone because I was being abused at home, and I was thinking that this is how the world treats you. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking this is love. This you gotta do. You gotta do. He took my virginity. My mom was gone. I don't know. My mom was gone. My mom was gone.
now, peeps, that was part 1 of our shocking 1-hour interview with Mesha, a victim of Diddy. If you know someone that's going through domestic, or if you yourself are going through domestic, help is just a phone call away. Thank you guys for watching part 1 of our interview. Stay tuned for part 2. Make sure.
Okay, so in the description below will be the link to his channel. And I find it weird, you know, that Cassie's attorneys dropped her, because like when you go in as a witness, something has to add up. So like, what about the surgeries that the surgery she had where they reconstructed her and they got the pink dildo out of her and stuff? That has to be somewhere. You know what I'm saying? That has to be somewhere. Like, people don't, you know, you just can't get surgeries done and it just be swept under the rug. And they did it in New York City because she was back in New York City, supposedly, and she seized out, and then they rushed her to the hospital, and then they pulled that out of her and sewed her up and everything. So I don't know how they dropped her if there's evidence of that. That's what I'm saying. Like, but I just want all of you to decide what you think of this, because as you see, it's all over the place. And then the snake, the venom, all of that, the burning of the building, her saving Diddy, is all in Blink Twice. So I don't know if that's her story, why she's not getting paid for it. I don't know, because that was Zoe's first movie that she ever put out, said based on true events. But I don't know. Yeah, but if there's evidence of her having that surgery, they can't really shred her, because then she would have the pink dildo in there. She would have had the reconstructive surgery and stuff. So that's what I would rely on. But evidently they found out they didn't have those things. They evidently couldn't find the surgery, or I mean, people lie to the cops all the time, and you know, being kids or whatever, you know. But I mean, I don't know. You know, I believe something happened. I don't know what. It's also strange that she left when it was her 6th grade summertime. She got back whenever okay, so first of all, she says it started when she was 10. And then she says she got back her 2nd semester of 7th grade and she was 13. So she left in 6th grade summertime and then was back, I would say, January, February of the next year. So roughly around 6 months. So how could she have been 10 and 13 I don't know. And how can she prove that that's pictures of her as the sushi girl? I don't know. But I would think that the surgery would prove more than anything else. But either way, as a victim, I pray that she does get justice. Yeah. Yep. Yep. I know. So, I mean, she did meet him and stuff like that. There's pictures of her, on his lap and in his house. And, well, mainly not in his house, but mainly at the studio. It was all like at the studio. And then she said she took a picture of the bedroom. I don't think there's a bedroom in the studio, but I don't know. I wasn't there. I've never been to the studio. So we'll just wait for part 2. But I do suggest everybody go watch Blink Twice. Blink Twice is supposedly made on true events. This could be her story. I don't know. I really don't know. And I don't want to call anybody a liar because I am a victim of SA, intercourse, all of it. And, I sent my grandpa to prison. Right, exactly, Curious. But you remember the snake. You remember the venom. You remember burning down. You remember her saving Channing Tatum. There you go. So, yeah. Anyway, so that's pretty much all I have to say about that, is that I didn't tell people for a long time. Mine's on Google about what my grandpa getting out of prison and stuff, but it wasn't something that I talked about, yeah, I would never. I wasn't even into like music and stuff like that, and when I did become a model, I was 30. And when I came back, I told all about John Casablanca and stuff. So it took them 2 years to take him down. Two girls were already pregnant at the age of 15 by the time they took him down. And you know what I'm saying? But I'm just very thankful that I didn't want to be in all that. I'm so thankful. And I'm thankful that by the time I went, I was, to even for the modeling stuff that I didn't even sign up for, that they just found me and signed me up. I'm thankful that I was 30 years old and had already been through pretty much, I know what you're talking about type of shit. And when he started saying that girl was sexy, that was 13, I started putting my investigative reporting skills together and being like, huh, really? Why? Huh? What? Huh? What? Something big was coming. I know she's a victim for sure, but she was well aware of all the things as well. Yeah, I really think that once he sued Ciroc made the call, because you don't sue the liquor company. You don't do that. They're old money. And once he did that, it was a wrap. Everybody was allowed to come through. Everybody was allowed to, get their voices heard. There was no more blocking anything. I don't know. I just feel bad for all victims. I mean, I know I live with PTSD to this day about it. Matter of fact, right before I came live, I had a dream about it. So, and I'm 49 years old. Shit don't go away. It's in your subconscious mind. But I pray that justice is done in this case. No matter what, I pray that God does the justice. And I also pray that if God wants him to stay in jail, he will. If God feels that he is a danger, you know, he will. Yeah, I think as more people get comfortable feeling like they're not going to be, you know, unalived or something, they might come forth with more information. But I think, honestly, people are so afraid. You got to imagine how big he was and how he was the gatekeeper to the music industry, that not even nobody's saying nothing. Like, they're all his so-called friends are all gone, disappeared. There may be one saying something out of all the thousands that were there all the time, you know. So it's just so crazy. I don't know. But just pray for all the victims, because they didn't deserve this. None of them deserve this. Nobody deserves this. And just to get a music deal, no. Till next time, I will see you guys later. Matter of fact, I'm just going to go lay down for a little while. I'm not feeling so hot myself. And we will... Yeah, I think he's already got it planned. Yeah, he'll be a highway Diddy run. Yeah, he's already got it planned. You know, at 3 guards, that's so easy. He rugs them. Boom, out the door, he gone. He's with Russell Simmons in another country, and he can't come back. And that's that, you know. They need to talk about his affiliation with, yep, exactly. And they're not even bringing that point up with the SA of children. They're not even bringing that point up there. And they've got to start talking about the red rum and everything else. But I agree with you wholeheartedly. So leave your comments below as to what you think about this whole thing. And please go watch the video Blink Twice, or the movie Blink Twice. And I will talk to all of you soon. I love you all, angels. I'm out.
You gotta take control. Life's too short. Get out of your head, make a better life instead. You gotta give it all your best. So put your hands up to the sky and live your best life, alright. Don't just let it go by, just try, oh my. Got only one life, got only this time. We gonna get it right. You gotta let go of those who don't belong in your tribe. So cut the bad out of your life. Yeah, do it one time. You gotta work till you're winning. Yeah, take control of the system. When you invest, it's addicting. No time to rest, let's go get it. Not gonna stop till I'm finished. Not gonna drop to my limits. Deep in my chest, I'm inhaling. Believe in testing and failing. You gotta flip everything in your mind. Take the limiting thoughts and turn them into your why. Prove to yourself you're worth it. You deserve it. Push past all the hurt and find your purpose. You gotta take control.